Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So, I honestly think there was a ridiculous amount of talking in this week's episode, but regardless, it wasn't all bad. Um, it definitely was one of these moments where they needed to express a lot of things that just had happened and gave us a moment of clarity of where things are possibly going in the future. And to think that they are setting up something maybe for the actual future outside of this show, it's kind of scary. It was kind of a scary thought, and this scary thought has a lot to do with if the Black Swordsman had to face himself, and especially a complete version of himself that has all the knowledge and memory of, over 200,000 years or something like that. Or 200 years, 2,000. Yeah, it's pretty sure it's 2,000. Um, Everything up to this point is going to be recorded in that copy of his memory or the copy of him in general. But he only exists in that world. But also, he could be brought into this world, as we see with Alice, which is the scary part about having these supposed, you know, artificial people showing up, which also gives credence to the person who was turned into a tree in the underworld being able to come back as well. Oh, maybe not because of how bad his body was destroyed. What if he just comes back in a different body, right? Like, what if uh, they orchestrate a different place for him for his flux to go, and then it has the memories that he has, so it all just gets transferred over to the body he goes into. Which, um, having Alice here, she is a metal, supposedly like non-human, right? Like unless she has like full blood and all that stuff and functions. I'm pretty sure she is just a memory database inside of something. I don't know. I should have probably paid attention to a lot of the words, but I was still coming off the coattails of Misfit, and that show was absolutely all action, while this show is all explanation. Um, but from what I gathered and what I got is the people like Alice coming to this world from the underworld could be possible. If it was possible, though, it would just lead to them being somebody's like pet, as the humans want to see it. The humans who don't want to accept this are already sitting in attendance waiting for their chance to say that this is wrong. But the best part about that is Alice is so intelligent and also has experienced time with people from this world already and seen how they go about handling stuff in moments. So she has a good understanding that there are good ones out there, and just like in her world, there's probably bad ones too. So to hear them going against her and saying like she doesn't deserve the rights or she's way too far different from us to be treated like us, all did not resonate well with her, as it shouldn't. In the case of Alice being who she is, she stands up and tells them, if humans creator showed up yesterday, right? Let's just say the humans creator showed up, just like her creators have showed up into her world and then didn't treat her like they were just supposed to do whatever he says. Kimito necessarily isn't a creator, but he's from this world, and he should have saw them all as artificial life, and he shouldn't have treated them like they were real people, right? If that was the case, if all humans are the same. But with her way of talking, in the case of like, if someone showed down and said, yes, I created every single human, and you don't deserve the rights that I have because we're too far different. I'm too much. of a beast. You couldn't even, the only way you can create humans is because I allowed you to create humans, and even then it takes more than one human to create another. Me, I created all of you without that, you know? Someone like that showing up and being being like that, that's exactly where Alice put it, you know? Like, if you think what you're saying is right, would you drop everything you do and everything in your life to obey and follow the person who created you if he showed up? And I thought about it, and I was like, probably not, unless, you know, we were forced. I don't think a lot of people would willingly just go. I mean, a lot of people would, and a lot of people wouldn't. That's just natural human reaction. Some people want to be led while others do not want to be led. They want to do what they want to do, which is why, just like unlike the underworld, we have all this freedom to do what we want. And in the underworld, the person who took over the pontiff made it so you couldn't even do certain stuff, or it would be considered taboo, and your eyeball would explode. Like, no, yeah, that's just it. Oh, you wanted to kill monsters and try to level up like how I did before I put in place this system? Nah, your eyeball's gone. You know, like, a lot of things she was capable of already doing, she just made it so they couldn't do it to surpass her. And because of that, it made it so they had to abide by these things, or they just wouldn't be welcome in society, or they would have a giant dragon and a mount riding at you to take you to your prison, where you then get turned into a sword. Okay, so there's a lot of alternative things for going against the master's rules in the underworld, but as a human, none of that stuff applied. So if anyone knows about already being held to a standard to what you can already do and can't do, it would be Alice. And the messed up part about it is no one knows that fact about her. No one knows of all the struggle she had to go through to even get to this point in time. But none of that matters up until the point where it does matter, like when it happens to us, right? Like, it doesn't matter that it's already happened to her, but if it was happening to us, oh, it would matter. So that's the type of stuff I am looking most forward to, is Alice changing the world. But I say that to now say Alice is talking about withering away, and it might be due to her being in this world for long periods of time, and maybe she just doesn't understand her body. Maybe she doesn't understand, you know, what she needs to keep strong. I don't know why or what she feels like because of this withering away statement, but I am willing to guess that it's probably something that we can't necessarily just fix or something. And if we can fix it, it might be something that we don't want to naturally destroy other people or something like that. I don't know. I have a really bad feeling about her saying that wither away thing, especially with there being a copy of Kimito out there and a copy of the guy who created the death games in general, and one idiot who loves computers and loves to go behind people's back for some reason and make copies of things he's not supposed to make copies of. He might cause the next world's end in the video game or in the real world, seeing how these artificial beings can become real. So that's where we're headed at this point in time, and I'm actually really surprised that they even tease something like that. But I'm also taking a grain of salt and not believing it fully, because think about it like this: there's still like maybe an episode or two left, maybe just one episode, because this is 11. I think there's only 12. They can straight up kill this Kimito off easily. This Kimito can easily be bodied. No, this is episode 10, so there's still 2 episodes possible if they are doing 12. I'm not entirely sure. I'm doing research while I'm doing this video. You're welcome. But if that is the case, they could always just kill this guy off. Be like, oh, well, yeah, so he died. And now we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, there's only 11 episodes. Crap. So yeah, next week we might actually see this artificial Kimito get destroyed, so no more show of Sword Art happens, or this is just their way of saying like, okay, this did a lot better than we imagined, and we still have one more trick up our sleeve. We're gonna tease to them something in this virtual world with another Kimito existing just on the uh, virtual plane, and we have another one in the real world. But what if those two met up? That's what I feel like it's gonna happen. But with the whole episode being left and how much dialogue was said in this week's episode, I feel like we're gonna get straight into that and maybe even see that plan be taken off the board if they don't want to continue the show. So with all that being said, take care everybody. Hope you have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you sooner than later. So with all that being said, let me know in the comments down below what you're feeling about this week's episode, if you enjoyed it, if you are looking forward to the final week's episode of Sword Art Online Aliciztion War on Underworld, or if you are just finally happy it's over and maybe the series will finally end and everybody can be happy again because it's such a bad show. Whatever the case it is for you, I hope you enjoyed it, and peace.